ShapeSelectiveHouse.com.
One of the smallest but cutest and important topic is shape selective catalyst. Everything understood from the name itself. Okay, whether to select or not, whether to select a catalyst or not, that entirely depends on whether to select a catalyst or not. That entirely depends on shape. Depends on what? Shape. Okay. Depending on the shape, the catalyst will select the reactants. Okay. So normally the catalyst will be selected based upon their activity, based upon their specific nature, based upon their selective nature. Okay, here both are important. Shape is also important, selectivity is also important. Okay, so but how you will select which catalyst is suitable for what? Okay, actually shape selective catalyst comes under the heterogeneous catalysis. We have studied depending on the physical properties, depending on the depending on the catalysis mechanism, we have divided into two types. What are those two types? Heterogeneous catalysis and homogeneous catalysis. Physical state, depending on the physical state of reactant and catalyst. If they both match with each other, then it is called as a homocatalysis. If they are not matching, then it is called as a heterocatalysis. Okay. So this comes under the heterocatalysis. Here, shape selective catalysis comes under which explanation? Heterolytic. Heterolytic catalysis is explained on the mechanism of Heterolytic catalysis is explained on the mechanism of adsorption. Okay. Homogeneous catalysis is explained on the basis of what? Reaction intermediate. Okay. Whether a reactant is able to produce a physical a reaction intermediate whose activation energy is less, then it comes under the homogeneous catalysis. If it depends on the physical state, surface is provided and adsorption takes place, then it comes under the um, heterogeneous catalysis. Okay, there are two types of mechanism: adsorption mechanism. Okay, adsorption mechanism. This is applicable for heterogeneous catalysis. There is another mechanism, homogeneous catalysis. Okay, homogeneous catalysis, and homogeneous catalysis is applicable for reaction intermediate theory. Which theory? Reaction intermediate theory. Hetero and homo means if the physical state of reactant and product are same, then it is called as reactant and catalyst are same, then it comes under the homogeneous catalysis. Okay, so hetero catalysis explained by adsorption theory, homocatalysis explained on the basis of reaction intermediate. These theories already studied. If you are not gone through, kindly go through it, then only specially this is applicable to this one. Okay, so this concept must be clear. If not attended due to any reason, kindly go through that mechanism, catalysis mechanism. Okay, so now shape selective. Here adsorption will takes place. Adsorption of what? Adsorption of reactant, and our catalyst will act as a adsorbent. Okay, in this theory, this is the adsorbent. Okay, what is this? This is the adsorbent, and here adsorbent is porous in nature. Adsorbent is what? Porous. Porous means holes. Okay. So there will be trapping to trap the reactant molecule. To trap the reactant molecule, there will be pores on the surface of adsorbent. Okay. So this surface pores, the pore size should match to the reactant molecule size. Okay. Suppose this is one reactant, this is another reactant. Okay. So whether they should they cannot be adsorbed on this catalyst because pore size is not matching. Understood? But another set of reactant. So they can be adsorbed into this. Is this understood? So they can be adsorbed and product formed also can go outside. So this shape the completely depends on what? The catalyst whose catalytic activity depends on pore size of catalyst. Okay. This size should match to the size of the reactant, and after product formation, if it is kept trapped, then there is no use. So the product size also should match and it should be able to go out easily after product formation. Okay. Just it is simply here our catalyst role is just like a residence or location or a place provided for them to react. Okay. They both will come and react it here and produce something, they will go out. Understood? So they provide a place for reaction. So that place should be comfortable. Comfortable reaction come and better product will be produced. Okay. So that comfortability depends on what? Size of the reactant molecule, and release of the product depends on what? Again, size of the pores of the catalyst. Okay. So this is completely shape selective. Understood? It is not that this catalyst is bad. This catalyst is good only for this reactant. That's why it will select a set of reactant. Okay. So that is what called as a shape selective catalyst. Is it understood? Now here the best examples are zeolite. Okay. Most of the time question will come on the this one only. This concept is easy to understand, but scoring, it is not scoring. Definition is not much important, but zeolite are very, very important. Okay. Once there was a question, what is the structure of pores? What is the structure of pores in the zeolite? Answer should be honeycomb like structure. Okay. Honeycomb means it will be like hexagon shape. This shape is called as a honeycomb. Okay. Like nowadays, even pressure cooker base is also like this shape. This is called as a honeycomb structure. It will keep on, hexagon will keep on increases. Okay. This structure is called as honeycomb like structure. Example of shape selective catalyst is zeolite and its shape is honeycomb like structure, and this time they may ask some formulas also, so we will study further. Okay. Okay, shape selective catalyst example I told you zeolite. Zeolite chemically they are aluminosilicate. Okay, so with the name you can understand how many elements will be there. With the name you can understand how many elements. Alumino means aluminium. Silicate means silicon with whenever you find ATE. There are two types of word ATE and ITE. These are the two words which will indicate the presence of oxygen. Okay. ITE and ATE will indicate it is a tertiary. Okay. And if it is IDE, then only binary. Only two elements will be there. Okay. Sulfide, that means that metal and sulfur. Okay. So here total three atoms, aluminium, silicon and ATE represent that oxygen also present. Okay. So what is the general formula apart? This is only I am talking about anion. Okay. This is I am talking about anion. To compensate the residual negative charge, there will be some metal also associated, like sodium aluminosilicate or calcium aluminosilicate. Okay. That is only required to compensate the charge. The basically anion is a main part whose micropores are responsible for catalytic activity. Okay. So general formula will be m x upon n. Okay. X upon n, these are simply numbers. Okay. So that this time to improve the depth of the questions, they may give x value and they may have to find out N value. Okay, the N value purely depends on the oxidation number of metal. Oxidation number of metal, and X value will be given depending on what oxidation number you will find out the N value. Okay, the general formula will be Mx upon M N AlO2 X SiO2 SiO2. Okay. Okay, Mx upon M AlO2X and SiO2 dot MH2O dot MH2O. Okay, so they are basically 3D silicates. Silicate you must have studied as silicate you must have studied as if in the 14th group. Okay, in the 14th group, silicate silicones. Silicates are any three-dimensional network containing basic unit of SiO4. Okay, SiO4 4 negative, SiO4 4 negative, this is the charge. Okay, so this units depending on the number of sharing oxygens. If all four are shared, then it is called as a 3D silicate. Okay, so that means no negative charge will be available if it is all shared. Understood? But the problem comes when in this 3D silicate, some silicon atoms are replaced by aluminium. See, because of this replacement only, charge will be residual. Okay, so silicon is +4 charge and aluminum is +3 charge. So once they are replaced, there will be some charge left over. That leftover charge will be compensated by this metal, and that metal number of required metal will be depending on the number of residual charge. Okay, see, SiO2 have no problem. SiO2 will have any problem? No. Okay, so SiO2 will be 0. Okay, because as silicon +4 4 oxygen, but here -4, but aluminum is +3. Okay, so aluminum, if it is +3, then this total charge will be -1. Let us take this is 3. Example I am taking, let us take this is 3. Okay, so if it is 3, then -3. This has to be how much? -3. Let us take here, I am taking the calcium. Now tell me what I should take. Calcium, how many I should take? How many calcium I should take? Calcium charge is +2. Okay. Calcium charge is +2. It have to provide how much charge? 3. Okay. So then it will be +2 have to give +2 by 3. 3 into 1 by 2. Okay. 3 into 1 by 2. 3 by 2. Is it understood? So like that, this value will be here and 2 is the charge. Okay, so 3 into each calcium, that is 3 by 2 calcium we have to take. 1.5 calcium we have to take. That's why this was how much? X by N. Okay, this is what? X. Okay, so why this charge came and the example, is it understood? So this will be some metal and metal oxidation number will be here. So and they are already naturally made also. But if we wanted to prepare our own requirement, then we can prepare synthetic zeolite also. We can prepare synthetic zeolite also. Okay. Okay. So there is a word called as activation. Okay. So by activation, we can improve the catalytic property. By activation, what we can do? We can improve the catalytic property. Okay. So zeolite, for improving the catalytic property, they are activated by this process. Okay. Zeolite, before using as a catalyst, they are heated in vacuum. Where they are heated? They are heated in vacuum. Because of the heating in vacuum, all water molecules which were earlier trapped, okay, now they will be coming out. So because of that empty spaces, they are called as pores. In some books, you may find them as a cavity. Okay, cavity or pores, both are same. Okay, wherever the place which was occupied by the water, now it will become empty. So that empty space itself is called as either cavity or they are called as a pores. Okay, Now, what is that pore size? That will be 260 picometer to 740 picometer. The size of the pores generated by heating in the vacuum. Okay. Now, where they are used? They are used as a catalyst. They are used as a catalyst in cracking of hydrocarbon. In cracking of hydrocarbon. Cracking means breaking of a big molecule, big hydrocarbon molecule to improve the efficiency of petrol or combustibility of the fuels. Cracking is done. Cracking means breaking of a big molecule into small molecule. Then cracking of hydrocarbon is done. Okay. And to improve the number of branches, suppose if it is butane, then combustibility will be less. But if it is propyl, 2 methyl propane, then branches are more, therefore efficiency and complete combustion will takes place. So isomerization means basically we are increasing the number of branches. Once we increase the number of branches, what happens? The complete combustion will takes place. The efficiency of petrol or diesel will increase. Okay. So cracking and isomerization, both purpose is same. Because of these two, the complete combustion will takes place. Therefore, heat evolved during the complete combustion will also increase. Therefore, efficiency per liter will also increase. Okay. And it is also used in preparation of the petrol. Okay, petrol is called as, actually petrol is a commercial name, chemical name is gasoline. Okay, what it is? Gasoline. And from where it is prepared? Simply by dehydration of alcohol. Okay, so alcohol contains OH group. That OH group and the hydrogen of the adjacent atom can be removed as a water molecule. For such dehydration, ZSM5 is used. ZSM5. Z means zeolite, S means sieve, SEIVE, SEIVE, sieve. M means molecular porosity 5. Okay. So this size of 5 will be exactly useful for only petroleum. Okay. Not for any other thing. Okay.